Hi guys, my name is Yash. I'm a ECBA certified business analyst, and today we'll be continuing with our 144th question of a BA interview series. So let's begin. What if the interviewer asks, how will you handle multiple changes requested after the UAT has started? I'll answer. This is a very challenging question, if I could say, if the interviewer asks this question. So I'll answer. If multiple changes are requested during UAT, that is user acceptance testing, I first analyze the business impact and urgency of those changes. Then, I discuss feasibility with developers, QA teams, and stakeholders. Critical issues affecting business operations may be prioritized immediately, while low priority enhancements may be moved to future releases to avoid delays and scope creep. In CraftCart, if stakeholders requested additional seller notifications during UAT, I would evaluate whether it was critical for release or better suited for next sprint. So as you can see, it's if if the if the stakeholders approach you during the UAT that they need some changes, right? So if there are multiple changes are requested during a UAT, I first analyze the business impact and urgency of those changes. Then I discuss the feasibility with developers, QA teams, and stakeholders. Critical issues affecting business operations may be prioritized immediately, while low priorities enhancements may be moved to future releases or next sprint to avoid delays and scope creep. So I think that's a very straightforward um, approach for a BA because first is to understand how critical it is, what is the priority of that requirement. If it's low priority, it can be done in the next sprint. If it's really high priority, then we have to see how it affects right now the system, and then decide while with discussing with the stakeholders. So yeah, that's something any BA should do in this scenario, and that's why first as a BA, you have to discuss feasibility with developers, QA teams, and stakeholders about all these things, right? And then only take a decision. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Hope you understand. Thanks so much for watching.